Hello, this is Mr. Muller for lesson 6-1, solving systems by graphing. So really over the next 3 days, we're going to learn different ways to solve the same kind of problem. So kind of like what we did in chapter 5 with you can do it in slope-intercept or point-slope. This one's going to be kind of the same thing, beginning of chapter 6. So we can do it by graphing, we can do it by substitution, or we can do it by elimination. So if you don't like how it's being done today, don't worry, there's other ways that we can learn it. Or if you do like what we're doing today, then the next couple days, could be a little less confusing because you can know that you can always just graph it if you ever wanted to. So we need to know what a system of a linear equation is, and we need to know what a solution for a linear equation is. So system of a linear equation, so we've seen half of a system. So this is a system is going to be where we have two variables, so an x and a y, and we're trying to find both answers. And we're going to get two problems to find both our x and our y. And our solution is just what it sounds like. It's the answer to the problem. Okay, so the first part of the homework is going to ask you, is -2 and 2 a solution for these two problems? So you would just have to go in and plug in -2 for x, +2 for y, and see if it's true. And the work's already kind of done for us down here. So instead of x plus 3y equals 4, my x I know is -2, my y is 2, so I'm going to have -2 plus 3 times 2, and hopefully it equals 4. So 3 times 2 is 6, -2 plus 6 is 4, 4 equals 4, so it works for the first one. And now let's try the second one. So I have -x plus y equals 2, and my x is -2, so I have a -2, which is going to be a +2. And then I have 2 plus 2, which equals 4. Does 4 equal 2? Nope, there's a x right there. It is not true. So this one we would just say, no, it is not a solution to the system, because it does not work for this bottom set. Okay, let's look at one that is going to be an answer. So like this one. So now my x's are 1 and 3. So 2 times 1 is 2, 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 equals 5, we're good to go. If I plug it into this bottom one, -2 times 1 is -2, 3 is my y, so -2 plus 3 is 1, 1 equals 1, and both of them are solutions, so then we would write yes, it is, 1, 3 is a solution to the system. Okay, so first couple of problems on the homework are going to ask you, actually I think all the book problems are going to ask you, is this going to be a solution? Okay, and then we're going to have other problems that are going to ask us to find the solutions. And when it's asking us to find the solutions, again, this is where we're going to do it a couple different ways through the next couple weeks. But one way is to graph, okay? And we know how to graph these, so this is nothing new. So if I'm graphing this line in blue, okay, so I'm starting at -1 because it says -1, so there's my -1 there. And my slope is 2, it's a +2, and remember, really over 1. So up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. We can keep going for as much as we want, or down 2, left 1, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to draw that line out, so very important that we're drawing a straight line here. So there's my blue line. My red line, y equals -x plus 5, well, there's my plus 5. And my slope is a -1, so there's down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Our answer for this is going to be where those 2 points end up touching. And they're always going to be touching at a nice corner point like this. So if you get something that's off, like if it touches at 3.5 and 2 1/4, you did something wrong. Go back, try it again. It might be like that in high school where you're going to get weird numbers, but for right now, for today, they're all going to be nice numbers. So we graph our 2 lines. Where those 2 points meet is going to be our answer. So kind of going backwards to the problem we just did. So this one was asking, is this a solution? Some problems will ask you to find the solution, and we're going to do that by graphing. Let's look at another one. How about this one? Okay, so let's look at this. This is going to be our blue line here. So I'm starting at -1. There's my -1. And my slope is -2 over 1. So down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. Make sure to draw a big line there so you can kind of see where it goes. Here's my other line here in red. it says plus 5, so I'm going to start up 5. And then my slope is 1 over 1. So up 1, up 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. There's my red line, and it looks like they touch at about negative 2, 3. And then as always, since this is algebra, we can go back and plug it in and see, hey, did I graph that right? Is that true? So let's look at this point. So if I think my x is negative 2, well, negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. If I think so then 4 minus 1 is 3. I think my y is 3. 3 equals 3. Kind of the same thing here. So negative 2 is my x, 3 is my y. So 3 equals negative 2 plus 5. Is negative 2 plus 5 3? Well, yes it is. Okay, so we can go back and double check it if we would like. And then I'll even show you how to do this on the calculator when we're doing this, so you can kind of check your points on a calculator. And we'll get used to seeing a screen more like this then. But we will talk about that in class.